right, so this is just going to be a short video on actually setting up the Raspberry Pi, a complete walkthrough. We've already in a previous video been through where to get the Raspberry Pi loader, which is what this is, a Raspberry Pi imager. You can get that on the web. You just type in to Google Raspberry Pi imager and it'll take you right to the page. You download it. The operating system I'm loading is the same one as before, the Raspberry Pi OS full 32-bit, a port of Debian with recommended applications, and I don't have it plugged in right now. It's already loaded up. I'm not going to go through that download, but that'll burn your SD card, and once you've got your SD card loaded, then we'll put it in the Raspberry Pi and boot it up, and I'll show you that boot up process right now. So here we are in the boot up sequence. You saw the Raspberry Pi flash up there briefly. There's not much to this boot up sequence. It's all pretty much hidden, but there it is. And here we are in the very startup before we've set up anything. So the first thing we're going to do is go through this little setup process here. We're going to set up the time zone and I guess in this case we're setting up a country. United States for me. You set it up to the appropriate country for you, and my time zone here is New York. And yep. And I'm going to click the check boxes that say I'm going to use English for mine. You can do what you wish there. This takes a few seconds to do that configuration, then it moves on. Here I'm going to put my new password in. And rename the password. This is just the password for the Pi itself, for the Pi account, which is kind of odd. We set it there, and then we have to set it again later, or reset it later, in order to make the thing happy about using VNC, which we're going to set up here shortly. We get the networking connected. And now we've got the Wi-Fi password to enter. So if you don't have Wi-Fi, it does have a network plug-in, cable plug-in that you can plug a network cable into and hook it up to your router or switch or whatever you've got that's appropriate. Or if you just want a network between it and your laptop, you can do that too. If you have a laptop and you don't want to hook it up to a broader network, you can plug a cable right between your laptop and the device. Understand that today, modern Ethernet connections do auto reversing of the lines, so it auto detects how the lines are connected and switches around so that there's a send and receive on that line. That's all there is to it. This is the kind of update sequence here. I've sped this up greatly. It takes probably 10 to 15 minutes here. It'll take only about a minute. But in your system, it's going to, of course, depend. It's downloading things, so it's going to depend on your network speed and other things, how long it takes. The installation then takes a few minutes after that's all done, and everything's installed and ready to go. So this should be done here shortly. And once we've got this installed, we'll have to do a reboot, and then we will be able to do some additional network configuration that I do for mine. You're not required to do it, but understand that if you're using Wi-Fi and you've got DHCP running, you may not know the IP address if the DHCP system changes it, and then you'll have to fish around and go look at your router to see which one it got, which isn't a huge problem, but I like to set them up as static IPs so I always know what the static IP is, and I'm also going to set that in my router as a reserved static IP, a reservation within my router, so that they've always got those IP addresses assigned to them. And then I set it up as a static IP in the system, which I could do it either way. I just set it up as a static IP to be certain, positive, and also with it being a static IP, it's got that IP even if I'm not hooked up to my Wi-Fi network, which I might not for some reason. I might want to hook it to my laptop or be away from home and connect it directly to my laptop. So by having it a static IP in here, and a DHCP reservation, I know that I'm never going to have any conflicts. So here I am just configuring the things that we need to have configured. This is VNC and some other tools and capabilities. I also like to turn off my my screensaver coming up. I really find that very annoying to walk away and have to log back into the system. Nobody's in a perhaps in a professional environment, that's a good idea, where there's people possibly walking by your desk or whatever. But here at home, nobody is going to be looking at or caring about my computer in any way whatsoever. And even if they did, I don't care. So I turn it off. But that's up to you. You don't have to turn it off. So there, we went through the boot up sequence again, and everything should be mostly clean now. This is now telling me to change my password, so I'm going to go do that real quick. Just go in here to Raspberry Pi configuration again, and right at the top on the right hand side is change password. So I'll set my password here, and this part should be good. And then we're all pretty much set up, except that now I'm going to come in here and I don't have Terminator installed yet. And as I've said multiple times, I like Terminator. It's just a really nice terminal to use. So just it only takes a few seconds to install it. Sudo apt install Terminator, and voila, you hit yes, and away it goes. It's installing, and as soon as this is done here, we will be all set to go over and do the VNC stuff. Oh well, after I set up the IPs. So let me go in here into Terminator. I'll scroll this up a little bit and make it a little bit bigger so you can see it a little more easily. Hopefully you can see that well enough. And we're just going to go sudo. Oh, excuse me. We're going to do. Well, first I will look and see what IP address it assigned. Yeah. So I don't want that IP address. I'm going to use a slightly different one. So now we'll go sudo nano /etc /dhcp cd.conf, and we'll go down here to where the IP addresses are set up and set that up as a static IP. And we'll just make it 101 in this case, because the other one I set up as 100. So I'm starting these guys off at 100 on my network. So there we go. We'll reboot, and we'll be back here in a few seconds, and we'll go over to the other computer and take a look at this from the VNC side just as soon as it boots up. There we go. So I'll see you over on the VNC side. So after getting everything all configured on the Raspberry Pi, we've got the VNC all set up, and I'm just going to go over here and create a new connection. Right here, a new connection. We'll call this, I don't know, Bill Pi in this case. Oh, that's got to be the VNC server. It's going to be 192.168.0.101. And I don't need a friendly identifier. I know which is which. And there's 101. And we should be able to connect now. We'll just do this. Continue. The username is Pi. And I will enter my password here. Tell it to remember the password. It's all local, so it doesn't matter. And voila. Via VNC, there is our new Pi. But you'll notice we also have another one over here. And this is the other Pi we've been working on. So now we have two Pis, both on our network, different IP addresses. Obviously, I statically assigned those, and I assigned them on my router as static IPs to these two devices so that they would never change. And that's how that works. I want to go out of full screen mode with this so that I can reduce that. And now we've got the two, and I think I like that background, but I really not sure I do like that background. So I might go in and change that background so that each one has its own own appearance depending on what we're doing with them. So that's it for this short video. It was just all mostly about configuring it and setting it up. Now that we've got 2 of these Pis to work with, we can do some networking programming between them. We could probably also set up to use some other kinds of networking, like I2C and SPI, and see how we can intercommunicate between the two. I also want to use one of them to be like a signal generator, and the other one to detect that signal and react and respond to it in different ways. So we'll have some interesting things to do with the 2 Pis that we have. One of them's a 4 gig Pi that I originally started this series with, and the other one is the 8 gig Pi that I just recently bought. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get notifications, hit the little bell and get notifications. Set those up however you want, and you'll be notified when I upload videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great holiday if you are still in that mode when this video comes out. And Happy New Year's. Hopefully 2021 will be a better year for everyone. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.